So I want to address something that's been bugging me about this car since the day I've owned it, or since the beginning when I've owned it. The first mod I ever did to this was back in the day, HIDs. HIDs were like the hot thing. So I installed HIDs, and now the RSX high beam and low beams use a H1 connector. So the H1 connector, it's like incorporated into the bulb. So when I took the original bulb out and I put an HID system, now it just uses the male end of a spade connector to just plug in to the female side of the harness. And I've hated that because it could wiggle out, and I'll explain to you what I mean. And I'm addressing this problem now. I never came up with this idea before, but I came up with this idea, and I'm changing the LEDs in this car again. This company that I used to use a lot, it's the lights failed on my truck, so I had to replace it on my truck. Failed. Now one of them is flickering on the RSX, which is on the driver's side. I reached out to my friends at Lost Fit. This is not a sponsored video by them, but I reached out to them, told them I need a set of headlights or LED low beams, and I'm going to be installing them, but that's not the install video. The video is to show you how I'm correcting this problem. This is the connector that I cut off already on the passenger side. So like I said, this is what is on your harness side when you plug in your headlight. So this is your connection when you're going to plug in a HID or an LED. You literally just grab the two spade connectors, push them in. I just absolutely hate that. So I came up with a solution. I bought a whole bunch of 2-wire connectors. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be basically cutting these ends off, and then I already did it on the passenger side, and cutting this whole pigtail off, and I'm going to be running just a solid connector, and that's going to be my fix. And I'm just going to show you guys how I'm going to do this. The install, don't worry about the install, you guys know how to do that, but this is the solution I'm going to come up with, and it works. So let me see if I can get a light to show you. Here's our look at our connector that I did. I got the light right on, so that's what the final product is going to look like. So you can see if you move the camera up, that harness goes up into our low beam. It's got a nice solid connector now that under load or under vibrations, it's not going to wiggle apart. Let me see if I can show you the other side. You probably won't be able to see the driver's side, but when I take the headlight out, you'll see what I did to make it work. Here's a look at the current setup. There's our harness that comes out of our low beam. So I just kind of have it wrapped up. I made an extension harness and taped it all up so that way it wouldn't get corroded or anything, and the extension harness just runs right to our connector right there, and you can see it's just pushed right in. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cutting that connector off again, and I'm going to be removing the headlight and putting the connectors on the new one. You'll see. To give you guys a better idea of what connectors I'm using, so these are the connectors. Like I said, I got these online as a whole pack, just 2-wire connectors. So they come with the wire sealers, like the weather pack. They come with the little terminals, and then the 2 connectors. These are like those old school HID connectors, if you've seen them. They're just quick, just a connector like that. All right, so it's way better than what's on the car right now. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the 2 matching ones, because you got a male end and then you have a female end of these terminals here. So we're going to put the 2 female ends on the harness side. So I'm going to get these, right? I already stripped the wires, and I'm going to crimp them on the car over there. And don't forget to put these on first on the wires. So we have our 2 wires right here, connectors cut off, they're stripped. We have our terminals right here. Now with these terminals, you got to make sure you crimp them very good, because this is the only thing holding it onto this wire, because we're not soldering yet. We're just going to use these and crimp them on. So what you want to use is like a non-insulated crimper, not the other type that crimp the color ones. You want something with I don't know if you can kind of see like that little tooth right at the top, because you want to get a tight crimp. So we're going to start with the top one here. Okay, so now we got this one all crimped. It's very solid, and you guys can see that. So then we're going to get the weather pack. Just slide it right over. Push all the way down. So this one's ready. Now, to get the best connection or the best seating inside your connector, you kind of want to, when you crimp these, kind of make sure that they're close to even, so that way one wire is not longer than the other when it pushes in. So now we got both of our wires with terminals on them. We're going to grab the connector that goes with this side. What we're going to do, we're going to pull this red locking tab out just so we can slide them in a little easier. then we're going to lock it up. Now these are only going to go in one way, so when you push it in, make sure it goes in all the way and you hear it snap in, and that's when you know it's good. So like right now, they're not really going in, so I'm going to flip the connector around. And I got one started. I already felt it go in. And you can see it came right out on this side. So this one, we're going to walk it a little more. Alright, so now we got both of them coming out. I don't know if you guys can see, so they're both coming out there. We're going to put our lock back in. So once that's locked in, now we're just going to push our weather seals, our weather pack, whatever these guys are called. Push them right in. So now our connector is ready. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to do the same thing on the LED bulb, and then we'll clean all the wiring up and we're done. Alright, so we got our headlight all wired up. It's in the headlight assembly. The LED is connected. I already put the new connector on the LED, and this is what it looks like all done. We're going to turn it on to verify it works, or to make sure we have our polarity right, which we should. And we do. Got power on this one. That one I did off camera, and there you go. So this is your end product. I'm probably going to like clean up the wiring down there to make sure that looks all nice, but this is what it looks like. In my opinion, this is way better than the factory H1. Now I would redo all of them, but the only other one I would redo is the high beam one, which is right there. And as you guys can see, as I was explaining earlier, how the H1 connector is like a bulb type, so the connector is actually on the bulb right here. So this is a halogen yellow filament bulb, so that's why the connectors are right here, and the other one works because it just plugs right into it. So that's what that looks like. This is the fix, and we just corrected an issue that's been driving me nuts for so many years. That's pretty much all this video was. It was just like a PSA on if you have an H1 style connector, which I think it's the only RSX. I don't know. I feel like the RSX is the only one I've seen this H1. If another vehicle has it, definitely leave it in the comments because I'm curious to know. But this is just like one of those things that's been driving me nuts. It's been so little. Every time I change HIDs or LEDs, I always had that stupid spade connector, and I'd be worried it'd corrode or something. Like this, it's weatherproof now. It's not going to corrode. It's like a real solid connection now. It has to click in, and it just looks a little better in case anybody's looking there. So give me a like, leave a comment if this helped you out, if you thought this was a good idea. This is my fix to this issue. This is my take on fixing one of Acura's flaws. Just this stupid connector. This H1 shouldn't even exist. I don't know. All the other HIDs and LEDs, all these connectors, 9006s, H11s, they all have connectors. H1 has this stupid thing. So that's my mini rant. That's all this video was. So it's just to give you guys some information on if you have this, you don't like it, and you want to make it a little better. Here you go. I'll see if I'll leave a link down below on all the the two-pin connectors. If you want some of those, I'll leave the link. You can go pick those up, do it the same way. And that's the end of this video. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay motivated and keep making those streets louder.